a straight stalk, whereas the female flowers are kind of fat right underneath the flower. So for folks who have been here for a little while, you may remember last fall when we were putting this garlic in, Morgan and I had a discussion about how I instructed him to plant the garlic. And he insisted that I'd told him to plant it point down instead of point up. Well, this is what happens when you plant garlic point down. It grows twisted. So, it still grows, it's still fine, but now we know the answer to that question. Yes, you are. Oh! Good evening. I am not at the farm. I am at the Otsego County Cooperative Extension garden plot where we had our Master Gardener meeting this evening. And it's nice seeing the work that we did in the spring come to fruition. That bed I was showing you is the Grow a Row bed, where we were demonstrating how to grow the different vegetables that you can then donate to your local food pantry. So I'm really happy to see that did well. And I'm very happy that I have scored a bunch of elderberry, which the timing is not great for because I have pickles marinating in the fridge that I have to go home and get canned up. But I'm not saying no to free elderberries because I'm not going to be producing enough for a while yet. So I'm heading out to the car to grab a bag to put those in. And then I've got to go home and find a recipe for elderberry cordial. Alright, the kitchen is a disaster, which happens when you have a small kitchen and are in canning season. But I did get a batch of bread and butter pickles made. They are cooling down here. These are my favorite pickles. And I hope I can make another batch. I did have a lot of cucumbers left, but they're really too big to make good bread and butter pickles out of. And I'm not a big dill person. But I did find out something that you can do with these is slice them thin and dehydrate them. You can season them before you dehydrate them to make pickle chips, or you can just dry them and then run them through the food processor and make cucumber powder, which you can use cucumber powder to make tzatziki with. Now, it's not as good. It doesn't have that nice crunchy texture that tzatziki with fresh cucumber has, but still, in January, when you want something that tastes good, that seems like a way to go. So I've got the dehydrator up from the basement. This is going to be tomorrow's project, is slicing these up and getting them going. In the meantime, I got all of those elderberries off the stem and have two separate projects going. So this one is going to be elderberry syrup. I've just got fresh elderberries, a cup of water, some cinnamon, some cloves, and some ginger in there. And that's going to simmer. It's just about done. And then I need to strain that and then cook that down to a syrup. But I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit longer while I do the other project, which is elderberry cordial. Now this is stupid easy. You just fill the jars with your fresh elderberries. You fill it about 3/4 of the way up with an alcohol, and then you top it up with honey and let it sit for a month. And then you strain it all out and mush all the good stuff out and bottle it, and then you have cordial to make drinks with, to just drink straight if you want a little hit of alcohol. And the instructions that I had said that you can use any kind of alcohol. They did the recipe with brandy, but I don't have any brandy. So what I do have is I have the cheap vodka. I have cheap triple sec. And I have a very expensive bottle of mead that I've had for ages and not done anything with. So if I can find a cork puller, I will use this. And I've got 3 jars. I've got 2 pint jars and kind of sort of a half pint. And I just kind of evenly split the berries, the remaining berries, between these. And then once you got that filled up with the alcohol, you top it the rest of the way with honey. And again, you let this ferment for a month and drain it, and you've got yummy goodness. So I need to get the alcohol going. My honey has crystallized, which is a sign that it's the real deal, because fake honey won't crystallize. But I can't really use it in this with it crystallized, so I've got to thaw some of that out in a pan on the stove. So let's get some work done. Quite the way I hoped it would. I can't find my bottle opener, my corkscrew anywhere, so I just did 2 jars of the triple sec and 1 of the vodka, and those will sit on the shelf now for a month, and I'll shake them up every day. I also put some comfrey in olive oil. I think I showed you that earlier. So that will make comfrey oil for making salves. And again, that's something I need to just shake up every day for the next month, and then strain all of it and put it to use. I also can't find my cheesecloth, which is why I was really struggling with how to strain everything. Fortunately, I have a couple of strainers that have a fairly fine gauge wire, so I think I was okay using just that. And that's kind of it for tonight. It's certainly all I've got clean dishes to do. I've got to clean this disaster up now, but that's part of the process. When you're considering how much time it takes you to do any preservation, you have to keep in mind your cleanup time. So I probably have another hour of doing dishes, but I'm going to spare you that. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Now that I'm more mobile, I'm trying to do more work out here in the garden to get things more under control. It's kind of late in the season to be worrying about too much of this, but it's still better to get the weeds out so they don't go to seed and replant themselves, so we go through this all again next year. Moss has already been out this week while I was working and got these two beds where we had the peas all cleaned out, and they did a beautiful job of it, and I'm so grateful. We've got one more full bed that needs to come out on the other side of the cucumbers there, and then we've got a bunch of beds that need cleaning up around what's growing there. So this is all of my chard and kale. That bed, believe it or not, is all my beets. And this bed is supposed to be my lettuces. Now I did replant some bok choy in here, and they're looking okay. I need to thin those a little bit, but my lettuce has just gotten swallowed by the weeds. So today's project on my lunch break is to try and get as much of this bed cleared out as I can. wasn't forecast to rain today. What the heck? All right, see how fast I can move.